Today, my question for you all is, what have you been called to do? What have you been called to do? Because for me, once I was able to answer that question for myself, game changer. Game changer. Right? I was trying to figure things out, doing this and doing that. But once I gained clarity of purpose, of why I am here, it changed the game for me. It made me a better husband, made me a better father, made me a better community leader, made me a better businessman. I am at the most accomplished, happiest, and successful point of my life than I've ever been. And I've had some success, some worldly success. Had my own ad agency, flying around all over the world. All of that material success came early on in my career, but I wasn't always fulfilled because I wasn't clear on what I have been called to do. Right? I had some success early on in life, but then if I had a nice watch, I wanted a nicer watch. If I had nice shoes, I wanted nicer shoes. If I had a nice car, I wanted a nicer car. Right? I was always on this treadmill, this hamster wheel of trying to figure out how to get more. Right? I was trying to fill something on the inside with things from the outside. All right, so my question for you all today is, what have you been called to do? And each and every one of you has a calling on your life. Each and every one of you has a purpose that existed long before you were even here. Your job is simply to discover it, and I'm telling you, it will remove the loss column out of your life. And I know we have some athletes in the room, right? And we measure and evaluate things on wins and losses. But when you have clarity of purpose, you understand and respond to that calling, your life simply becomes wins and lessons. It will remove the loss column out of your life. I don't lose. I do not lose anymore. I gain lessons. So if something didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out, right, I just learned from that. And then that next effort, that next attempt at whatever it is I'm going to do, I make sure I go bigger, better, stronger, faster, because I learned the lesson. Now, a lot of you, and especially the men, and I know we have some young ladies in here, and this can apply to you too, but I know for you young men, you have been told you are not enough. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not light enough. You're not dark enough. You're not tall enough. You're not smart enough. The narrative in the world that has been put out there for us is we are not enough. I'm here to tell you right now, you are more than enough, each and every one of you. You have everything you need to succeed. And it's a matter of connecting those dots, right? And so for me, I grew up in Baltimore, right? I don't know, I know people from all over. Anybody from Baltimore? Oh, is that, okay, yep. My man, so I grew up in Baltimore, West Baltimore, Park Heights, right? Okay, there it is there. So where and how I grew up, a lot of crime, drugs, violence, right? Seeing things that a child shouldn't see. And that may be the reality for many of you, right? Seeing people get killed just a matter of feet away from you. And I normalized that. I thought that was just the way life was, because I didn't see anything different. And it's not until I went off to school I realized, oh, whoa, this is not the way life is supposed to be. I mean, getting harassed by the police because the police the neighborhood that I lived in. They treated us all the same, whether we were one of the guys that were causing problems or not. So I was on the receiving end of excessive force regularly. Again, normalize that. Again, maybe similar circumstances and situations for a lot of you in here, right? But don't allow that to define your outcome, because you are more than enough. You have everything you need to succeed. And a lot of times, those things that are happening aren't necessarily happening to you. They are happening for you to build up the resilience that you need to accomplish the things that you have been called to do. So I grew up in Baltimore dealing with that, right? So when I graduated high school, I decided I wanted to be an engineer. And I decided I was going to be an engineer because all I knew was engineers made a lot of money, right? So that was me. I was chasing the bag. I was like, okay, I want to make a lot of money. So I went to DeVry University in Atlanta. Got to school, decided, wow, I graduated, but decided this is not really what I want to do, right? So now I have a degree in electrical engineering and decided, man, this isn't what I want to do. So what did I do? I moved to LA to become a rapper. Yep. You can imagine what my mom thought, right? It's like, you just got a degree in electrical engineering, you gonna move to LA to be a rapper? Hey, I was nice back in the day too, y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know. I was nice, had bars. Still got a few bars in me here and now and then. And so I did that, and while I'm in LA, I met this young lady who had her own apparel company, and she started giving me gear to wear. So I'm wearing this gear, and she had a licensing agreement with Converse, the sneaker company. Y'all know Converse, the shoes, the sneakers? Right, so she's giving me gear to wear. I'm wearing the gear, and she's like, look, Converse wants to have you, because I had a nice little movement. I had a nice little following out in LA. And so she said, look, Converse wants to have you wear this gear, and they want to pay you to give it out to your friends. So this was like influencing before I even knew what influencing was. And so I was like, and they were going to pay, they were paying me $300 a week, y'all. I was like, what? Let's go, right? $300 a week? Come on. So I'm getting $300 a week, and I'm giving it away to my friends. I'm giving it out to, because at the time, see, I know y'all young. Anybody remember Martin, the show? Y'all remember Martin? Y'all remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Will Smith show? So y'all remember Living Single with Queen Latifah? Y'all, okay, so y'all remember those shows. So those shows were taping at the time I was in LA. So I would just go up to the lot, give away product to them, and none of us really know the value that we were offering. So they're like, sure, I'll wear it on the show. I'm giving away product. Man, it's blowing Converse up. So they decided, hey, we want to offer you a job to come and work for us in Boston. And I was like, nah, B, I'm a dope MC. Y'all can go ahead and keep that corporate gig. Like, I'm a rapper. So I actually told them no the first time. Then they doubled back, came back and said, hey, well, we want to create a position for you at our ad agency to see if you can replicate what you're doing in LA for us across the country. So they flew me out to Boston. I met with the ad agency. I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. If I get with the ad agency, I'm still thinking maybe this can help my rap career. So I took the gig at the ad agency, and I'm living in Boston. And I liked it, and I was pretty good at it, right? So I ended up doing that. And then shortly after that, I started my own ad agency because I learned the game and realized, wow, I'm pretty good at this, and I like it. Started my own ad agency. Then I ended up getting Reebok as a client, getting Hasbro as a client. So now I'm getting my own clients at my ad agency and doing well. Ended up selling that, getting a little taste of entrepreneurship, made a little bit of money, and then became an ad executive for the next, 20 years, right? And then in 2012, I decided I wanted to go back to entrepreneurship, and that's when I started True Access, right? Started my own consulting company to help people understand how to build bridges across differences. Now, this is what I want y'all to understand. We're talking about building blocks to success. The thing that I've realized now, as I look back, is I was able to follow what I call my own internal GPS to purpose. And I want to share that with you all now because each and every one of you has it. So I want you to follow this formula for your own success so that you can gain clarity of purpose and understand why you are here. Not just here at FSU, but definitely why you're here, but why you are here on this planet. Like, you have a calling, you have a purpose over your lives. And so that GPS, y'all know what a GPS is, right? You know, it navigates you, gets you to where you're going. So your own internal GPS are your gifts, your passions, and your service, right? That's your internal GPS. Each and every one of you are gifted in some way. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not. And typically it's the thing that your friends or family may come to you to ask you for help with. You all have unique and tremendous gifts. You just have to recognize those gifts, trust those gifts, and honor those gifts, right? So, but it's not just about understanding the gifts, because the gifts alone aren't enough to do it. That passion, right? It's that intersection point between your gifts and your passion. So that's the G and then the P. But the passion is what's going to sustain you, what's going to keep you going when things get rough, and things are going to get rough. So if you're not passionate about what you're doing when things get hard, you are going to give up. You're going to quit, right? So you can be gifted in something, but if you're not passionate about it, you'll be good at it. But if there's no passion, then you'll give up when things get hard. But if you're passionate about something, but you're not gifted, you're not going to do well at it, right? So what's that intersection point between your gifts and your passions? And then that's where you have been called to serve a cause and a greater good bigger than yourself. Once I figured that out, because I had figured out my gifts and my passions early on. And I was doing well in life, making good money, traveling all around the world. But I wasn't serving a cause bigger than myself. I was really, like, I would tell people, I'm out here grinding, I'm out here doing this, man, I'm doing it for my family, right? I'm out here grinding, y'all heard that, right? Truth of the matter is, I just liked everything that came with it. I liked the status, I liked the money, I liked the promotions, I liked all that stuff. That's why I was doing it. But once I realized that I needed to serve a cause bigger than myself, then that's when I really got to a point where everything just became easier. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but when you are doing what you are supposed to be doing with your life, the way that you have been designed, you cannot be stopped. You cannot be stopped. But if you're doing something with your life that you should not be doing, then you probably should be stopped, honestly, because you're not going to maximize your potential. Right? And so I remember when I first had that realization. It was me and a friend of mine. It was his 35th birthday party. It was my 40th birthday party. And we were doing this party. We called it 3540, real original, right? We were doing this party at Versace Mansion down in South Beach. I don't know if y'all even know Versace. Anybody heard of it? Y'all, Versace? Y'all know who that is? Yeah? Yeah, no? Yeah, no? Yeah, okay. So it was at the Versace Mansion down in South Beach. So we rented it out. Our family stayed there. We had like one of our clients sponsored it. It was crazy. And so I remember we were inviting our influencer friends, our celebrity friends to come to this party. And I remember inviting this guy. He worked at a Barney's retail store. His name was Will. And I remember inviting him. And he was hyped. He was excited that he was getting an invitation to this party. And so he's telling me this story. He's telling me that, so I was telling one of the other guys at the store that I'm coming to Tru's party. I'm coming to your party. And he's like, Tru, who's Tru? And so the he's trying to describe me to the guy. And he's like, man, you know Tru. He's got the S500. He's got the Mercedes S500. He's got like this platinum chain with an iced out cross. He's got a little bling, like a little diamond stud earring. And it's like, so he's describing me. He's got like a Breitling watch. Everything he's using to describe me are things. Things. And that really hit me. I was like, wow, is this going to be my legacy? Am I going to be known more for what I can consume than what I have contributed to the world? Don't let that be you. Don't allow your focus to be so much on things that you lose out on the substance of what you can contribute. Yeah, consumption is part of the process that we live in this life. Absolutely. But contribution is the purpose. Each and every one of you have gifts that you should be contributing to someone else. And so when you have clarity of purpose, it creates a VIP experience for you and everyone involved. It gives where you're going more value, what you're doing more impact, and how you do it. It gives more precision. Recognize your passions. And when you find the intersection point between the two, serve a cause that's bigger than yourself. I started doing this series called Barbershop Rap Sessions years ago after Mike Brown was shot and killed in Ferguson because I wanted to help heal the community. Right? I have a 10-year-old son. He was only 2 at the time when that happened. And I was concerned about his safety living in Cary, North Carolina, predominantly white affluent community. So I walked down through the doors of the Cary Police Department one day and said, hey, I'm concerned about my son's safety. Do I have a reason to be concerned? Now, mind you, when I grew up, I was on the receiving end of excessive force. So when I saw this stuff on the TV screen and on social media, it wasn't just these images. That was real to me. And I needed to know how I could protect my son from some of these same tragedies. So I walked through the doors of the Cary PD and said, hey, I'm concerned. I have some genuine concerns. Are they valid? That led to a conversation, which led to a discussion. I started inviting them into a local barbershop so that they can build relationships and understanding with how to better connect with the Black community, Black men in particular. I started doing that in 2014. First Saturday of every month we do it. It's 2022. We have not missed a first Saturday since. Now, the reason I am with the Minnesota Timberwolves today is because I built a reputation for being able to build bridges between law enforcement and the Black community. I didn't do it for money. I didn't do it for props. I didn't do it for recognition. I did it because I wanted to help heal a community that was hurting, to build bridges between law enforcement and young Black males. That gained notoriety, that gained momentum. And so they knew who I was. And so when George Floyd was murdered in May of 2020, they called me because I had a reputation for being a bridge builder. And they wanted me to come and speak to the team to help the players understand how to navigate their feelings and their emotions with all of the civil and racial unrest that was going on in Minnesota. So I did a few speaking engagements with the players, went well. And they said, hey, would you be willing to come in-house and serve as our very first Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer? At first I said no because business was good and life was good. I was like, I don't need it. But then my wife challenged me because they came back and asked a second time. And I was like, babe, what do you think we should do? And she told me to pray about it. And the second time I prayed about it, and I had to really practice what I preach. And the first time I said no is because I didn't need them. But after I prayed about it, the message that came to me is no, you're not going because of anything that you can get from them. You're going because of what you can give. My life has never been better. Your gifts, your passions, and your service are building blocks to success. Thank you for your time. Now, I think my man Isaiah is supposed to be doing a little Q&A. Is that right?